Hey everyone, thanks for being with me again today. I'm so glad that you have joined in, and we have a couple of different things I just want to show you. The faux rice paper, or the paper, the collage paper elements here that we had done with tissue paper. I had taken the first one that I had made and I had torn it and into scraps, and then I had just drawn some sketches on it and added some stitching, and that'll make a nice corner pocket. And then here's another one that could make a focal point. You know, they could be pockets, focal points, whatever you want them to be. And then there's some stitching on all of those. So the stitching was a little bit tricky because it tears pretty easily. So I probably wouldn't recommend a whole lot of stitching on them unless you really had yours layered more heavily than what I have mine. So that's those ones. Now, I did two more, and these I did with Tim Holtz tissue paper. They are, of course, beautiful because anything that has Tim Holtz name on it is absolutely beautiful. So I used his tissue paper on one side, and then on the opposite side I used lace. As you can see, I used some of my pressed flowers right here, and there's more pressed flowers in there too. I was out of the leaves because I used those on my first one, but there is some old dictionary paper here. Here's another pressed flower here, and there's mulberry paper in there. Just whatever was laying around here on my desk. And also I had a couple little boxes of my scraps here that I was incorporating those pieces in. So that's the one with the birds. And then I did the other one, another one. It's not the other one because he has more, but I did the butterfly one here also. And then in that was more papers than anything else, but I did put in some of that ribbon, that woven type ribbon from Dollar Tree. And then this is some gauze here, some eyelash yarn here, and then the mulberry papers, the dictionary papers, some different papers that I've added in there. I really do like these. Are they my favorite project? Probably not, but I do like them. And probably I will do more. I have some more different tissue papers of Tim Holtz's, and I'd like to do a few more sheets of them. I think they will look really nice in some collage. So you'll be seeing them around in my projects, I'm sure. We'll put that aside. Now, the next thing I'm working on, and this all started with a lesson on my Wanderlust program that I am doing. So far, I really am enjoying the program. I think we're 4 weeks into it now, maybe even 5. Anyhow, this past week was with Catalyst wedges. Let's see, where's my wedges? Here they are, right here. That was used to spread the ink around. I have some of the wedges. I'm not a big fan of them, but I did use them. So it was the wedges, and it was a jelly plate, and I am a big fan of my jelly plate. So I'm going to flip through these real fast, and then we're going to do a little bit more work on them. These are, this one, the first ones I'm going to show you are cleanup, where I just rolled the excess ink off onto some book paper, some dictionary paper here. And I have used with these stencils, acrylic paints. I did use some spray inks. The spray inks actually kind of surprised me. They did work really well. Now here is where I had one of the jelly prints, and then I used this little rubber thingy by Plaid, and it's for making mark making. Which all of these papers, the intentions for these are mark making papers for collage papers. This one was done with a butterfly. I love it when I get the extra colors in. And so it's more more dimensional maybe. So we'll go through them a little bit faster, and then we'll come back, and there's a couple that I want to show you. This one I liked. Of course, it has sunflowers on it. It turned out pretty nice. There's one with a sunflower. I hope you can see that. And then I just had some strips of white paper that was given to me and just rolled off. No, these were cleaning up some of my jelly paint and getting off some of the paint. And I just love when I get this, just from cleaning up. Now this is one, it's a deli piece of paper, and I was just rolling off ink. We can make this look better. Right now it's pretty dark, and I really wouldn't see much of use for that. But after we're done today, hopefully maybe we will. And another piece of deli paper. There's deli paper with a stencil on it. And look at the color. This is what I'm like. This is what I'm after when I do my jelly printing. I'm after this effect right here with the colors. This is pretty. This will make some good collage paper, but this is pretty too. That would make like a real pretty, take it and fold it. That'd make a real pretty page in a journal, I think. And deli paper, again, another piece of that white paper. And there we have some with orange in it. And oh yeah, when we get that, that's just like yummy, so yummy. And this is ledger paper here. Not my colors, but it has some good texture in it. Pretty pretties. Then we get to what's me. Okay, when we're looking at nature and these type of colors, now we're talking me. And just right here is absolutely a perfect strip. I think what I really, really need to do with this paper is probably scan it and save it. I could see myself using that strip quite often, actually. So, and then this one. Oh yeah, now, okay, a page in a journal. Now, actually what this is some pages I had ripped out of a journal, and they were still stuck together, so I just put them on my jelly plate. But I got that really nice print, and it's too bad it's back to back with that really nice print. But oh yeah, I think I probably should save that one too, because I can see me using that again and again. Now these, they're a little bright for me. I think they're nice. I think there's so much nice color in there. Yeah, but they're a little bright for me. I'm not a purpley girl, but I think that's pretty. Too dark for me, but it's lots of nice color. You know, there's some pretty prints there with the leaves. And there. This is me. It's green. I like that one. And this one, I like that. And this is just on some old book paper. This is copy paper, I should tell you. Now there is another one with this tool, and this will have a place somewhere. Is it my style? No, I don't think it's ugly by any means, actually. I think it's quite interesting. I can add more to that and make it usable for me. Here we go with butterflies. Again, another one of those real nice strips down here. And the negative of the butterfly. On ledger paper with different colors, you can see it's the butterfly. See, keep going here. Here we go, guys. I mean, look at that. When it's green and now that had some red in it. I like this too. And this, okay, this is made with that ribbon that I tell you I have a love-hate relationship with, and with my dried flowers here. So you can use your foliage on your jelly plate too. Here it is. This is one print that was pulled from that, and this was another. So you can see that they layer over on top of each other really, really well. And there's back side. Here's some more of that. And we just got the ghost image of it here. I liked it when I added the yellow to it. These are going to be beautiful papers, I feel, in a collage. And then we have the same effect again, only with the yellow and the green, where I pulled one print on the Gelli paper, and then I had this print on the copy paper. This one, oh my goodness, just look at the print in there. How that came to be, I'm not quite sure. What am I going to do with this? That I'm not quite sure either, but I love this. I just love it. Somewhere it'll find a place. Okay, here's my flowers again. This is what I want to show you today. If I can duplicate it, that's what I'd like to show you how I did. But this is probably my favorite print out of the whole series this time, is that one. This is nice. And then, of course, you know me, I wouldn't have it, but what I had a piece of cleanup paper going on, right? So this one was a catch-all. You know, I rolled the stencil over and cleaned it off on here. It was a catch-all. I brayered extra ink on it. And this will be very, very nice in collages also. So with all these set aside, I would like to do a little more work showing you today these papers, this paper, and there was, I should have pulled it out when I seen it, and I thought, oh, yeah, we could work on that today. I mean, that could use some work. A lot of these could use some work. A lot of them are absolutely fine the way they are. Oh, let's see. You have it pop out. That one, maybe that was the one. It probably was the one right there. Yeah. Okay, so we'll set these ones aside. Now I have the, it is 8.5 by 11 Gelli plate. Mine's pretty well gunked up too. That's when you get a lot of your good colors too, is when your Gelli plate is what you would call dirty like that. You get a lot of good stuff off it then. This side is actually pretty clean. I think most of that is on the other side. Yeah, it is. So I have chosen to work with two different colors of green. This is folk art, both of them are. This is Thicket Bouquet. This is Mossy Meadow. And then I have the Apple Barrel, it is Pink Eraser. It's right there in front of me. And then I have my white gesso here. And I have some Naples yellow, which if I run out, I'll have to choose another color. Those are kind of like a base color. Black can also be another good base color. But I'm going to use the two greens, the pink, and maybe a little bit of brown in here. But what I'd like to show you first is how I did, if I can replicate it, how I did the floral print here. So what I'm going to do first, and I have my brayer here with me. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to put down some of this pink, and they're acrylic paints. You can do these with watercolors too. I've also seen samples of where people have used their alcohol inks. So you don't want like a humongous amount of paint on here, but you want a decent coat, and this makes a decent coat right there, I think. So we'll put a coat on there. And then this is where I need something to roll off onto. So I'll just take a piece of paper like this, and I'll just roll. I mean, why would you want to waste that paint right there, right? So we'll set that aside because I'll probably add more and more to that. And then here I want to add my flowers. And I was trying to remember now, okay, what are these flowers? And I'm not actually sure whether they're azaleas or just what they are. Guess it doesn't matter. But I do think that has prompted me to think about, okay, when I'm collecting this summer and I am drawing things, I need to put notes with stuff like, okay, what is it? Because when I look at it and when it's in this state, I'm like, just what is it? I think I do need to start myself a nature journal that will go with me when I'm out and about collecting things, and take notes, maybe take some sketches, take notes of where I found it, when I found it, you know, a nature journal, right? A nature journal as in a true working nature journal is what I need. And then I could get to points like this and say, oh, well, that is this, or that is that, or whatever. So there we have that down. And the next thing I would do is I would take a piece of copy paper and I would pull from that. Now, you don't usually get exactly what you're looking for until you have a couple layers of paint on the Gelli plate. I like to let them dry in between. And I don't know why. I just feel, I guess I just feel that's the thing to do. Is it really? I don't know. I think a lot of this with the Gelli plate is a lot of playing. I haven't been playing with mine in several years, so it's kind of like going back to the beginning and trying to remember, okay, what did you do? What did you do? What did you do? And how did you get this? And so you have to play with it and remind yourself once again, okay, how did I get that? So here's our first pull. And this is, as you can see, those prints that I showed you, this is how we got those. Now, this is a really nice print. And these flowers, you know, I did all those other papers with, and they're still giving us good prints. So there's that. But I want more color on my prints. I do know yesterday I left the flowers on and brayered over top of those with another color, and I can't remember how that turned out. So let's just go ahead and try it again. You know, it may be a mistake, it may not be a mistake, I don't know, we're going to find out. So that should be enough color. So I'll just carefully see what I can do about spreading this color around. And yeah, so you have to be very careful because they will pop up. Maybe just go in between like this. Try to get some color on. Yeah, that'll work maybe. There, I think I got my color spread out pretty good. Now let me just grab some more paper here. And let's go with a piece of deli paper this time. So I'm going to line that right up on the top, smooth that out, and then press down and get as much of this paint as I can to transfer. And see what we come up with. Okay, so yes, that's pretty. It's nothing fantastic though, not yet. I can see a little bit of the pink poking through. So let's remove our flowers. And I, at this point, want this to dry. All right, so it doesn't take very long to dry, but once it's dry, then I'm going to take my Naples yellow and I'm going to add a layer of that right over top of my flowers. And let's see how far that goes. Yeah, that was plenty of paint. Oops, picked up a flower there along the way. All right, then I will take this, and you know what? I have this dark piece of paper here. Let me go ahead and just brush that on there, roll that on there. Now, before this dries, I need to go back in and pick that up. And I'm going to do that with a piece of copy paper, and I should get my pink flowers. There we go, guys. This is what I'm after when I'm after color, is I want, you see the pink, you see the green, and you see the yellow. And I feel this is a successful print. Look at those pink flowers. So I just wanted to show you how I did different layers on getting this effect with the pressed flowers. So we're going to put the jelly plate aside. And I don't clean it in between. Not when I want stuff like this. I don't clean it. I just leave it. But it is important that you keep it protected. And so I have the package that it came in. I have another piece of acetate that fits over the top of it. And I store it in my container that I bought it in. All right. So we have that. Now, this to me is done. And this is done. I do like that. That's kind of pretty over top of it too, isn't it? Or maybe even over top of this one. Oh yeah, that's pretty like that. I really like that. So I'm going to set these aside because I don't want to do anything to those ones. But I do want to play with these. And I was thinking a lot of times, either early in the morning when I'm waking up or late at night when I'm just trying to get to sleep, or, you know, when I'm just resting, I'll come up with some ideas of things that I want to do. And I was thinking about my acrylic type tools that I have here. Now, I not only have the catalyst, the wedges here, but I have these brushes too that are that hard acrylic, silicone, whatever they're made of. I don't know if they're acrylic, but my camera doesn't seem to be focusing in, does it? So, and I have this one too. But I would like to take one of these pieces of paper and some white gesso, and I'm going to just use this brush and take some of my gesso, and I'm going to put a decent layer on, and you'll see why in a second. And we want to make this paper so what I feel would be more acceptable for me, just for me personally, to use in my collage papers. So I'm going to go like that. Then I want to take some of these and just play with some of these. Now I have this one that is like I don't know what's up with my camera not focusing. Anyhow, it has a wedge to it here. And I'm going to just take it and play. Let me see if I can get a little closer with my tool and remove some of this paint. So I might make some squares. And then I'll take that paint and I will rub it off onto another piece of paper. So I have a piece of paper up here. Let me just move this down so you can see it. I have a piece of paper up here that I'll then take this white paint and rub it off onto there. So I'll have some squares. Maybe I just want to draw some lines. Let's see, what else do we have? We can take this one that has a flat tip to it. And I'm going to set that flat tip onto my page and then pull it toward me. And I'll get a wider line, kind of with a rounded part to it. Now you do have to work fairly quickly. If your paint's not thick enough, then it's going to dry on you, which is what's happened here in this spot right here. All right, so I could take that and do that with that. I have a really fine tip on this one. It's very, very pointy. Maybe I just want to go in and draw some lines, circles, just make some, yep, marks just like that. And again, I can rub that paint off onto here. And then I have this one that I'm not quite sure. It has a different kind of wedge. Maybe I want to push some paint with that. Yeah, maybe that pushes quite nicely, actually. Let's see if we can make a circle. That's pretty well dry over there. I'll have to get into the paint where it's wetter. So So we have a circle here. So we can use this one and make some pretty nice circles by pushing the paint around there and around here. So this one works pretty good for pushing. So now I feel when this is all dry and I take this and I tear a piece of it for my collage, that it's going to be better. We're going to let that dry and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to add more to it. So I want to go through just a couple more. We have this one that we've been kind of monkeying with here by adding some paint to. We could even use this rubbery one and add some marks like that. Crisscross them. That makes that more inviting. Now we're going to let these dry, like I say, and we're going to add another layer to them. So let's do a couple more. Let me just pick out like a couple more. Okay, here's one. Let's go ahead and let's add some white to this one. So it's already has like, it looks like probably 3 layers with a jelly plate. This probably was a 3rd pull. And then with these lines, let's add some gesso. We could take a brayer to it. Like this. This must have had some spray ink on it because it's bleeding here, and acrylic wouldn't do that. So I did say that I had used some spray ink yesterday. We can take this little tool again and maybe add some different marks going different directions. We can apply, well, probably not very well unless I put it on a, but we can apply some paint with our catalyst tools here. So I want to go back to this one, and I like making squares and rectangles. I can just add that paint right back onto this piece of paper. I think that makes that more interesting for collage papers. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to take these 3 pieces of paper here and I'm going to dry them and then be back and show you what I want to do next to them. All right, so as I'm doing these type of papers like this, and when I'm first getting started, if I want to make a collection of papers that will go in one journal, say I'm preparing for a new journal I want to make, and I want to have a bunch of collage papers that kind of all match, then I will do as I did here, and I will choose like 3 colors. Now I probably would go with green, pink, and brown, and then of course if I'm going to be using my jelly plate, then I would need a Naples yellow and a white and possibly even a black, but probably with me I would go with brown. Then I would choose different papers. As you see, I've used like book papers, ledger papers. This came out of a book. This is a dictionary. This is just a piece of copy paper. You can use coffee stain paper. Whatever paper you have, you can use to create these jelly prints. How about just some brown packaging paper or a brown paper bag, you know, just whatever you have. So I would now take these 3 pieces of paper and say I want to make them so that they will very easily fit into the same journal. These 2 already are there because they have the teal, and you can see there's some pink back in there too, down in here. And here we have the pink with no teal, but this would match. And then we have the teal with no pink. And so these already kind of match. This would make, I think, a beautiful little page already for our journal just by using it just like that. Or I could maybe take, let's take this one. Yeah, let's take this one and just tear it in half and pretend that we're going to build a pocket. So here's our pocket. Let's see, this one's drier. Let's use this one. Here's our pocket, and now I have these papers that I can incorporate just by tearing pieces of it and getting some of that color on here, that pink color, because that's what our journal is based on, is the pink and the teal and whatever third color there might be. So then I would add a little bit of collage here, down here. Let's take some of this one. And I really like this stripe right here. And I think I'm even going to leave the tan on it like that. Now, this really isn't my type of journal until I add something with some foliage in it. So what about I take one of those flowers and add that to it. Now we're looking more like a nature print pocket than what I started out with, right? And that's with these colors that normally I wouldn't think, oh, okay, well, they don't really relate to me and my journal because I do nature journals. Well, if you add an element in there, such as that flower, let's add, you know, where's my brown paper? Where's my brown color? I need some brown in that also. So I'm going to take a piece of this brown paper here, and I'm going to add that, and that tones that all down right there. There we go. Put that on there like that. And how about I add a little bit of texture now? We got to have some texture. I could add a tea bag to it to give it some texture. Make my flowers sit right on that, so you can still see those colors behind it. Then or I could even take this piece of cardboard that I have here and add that onto it, just like that. So I'm getting the colors of my journal in there, even though it was bright paper to start with. So how about I take all my paper pieces now, and I'm going to just take this distress photo ink, and I'm going to ink up around the edges. And just that little bit of inking up around the edges really tones papers down. It really puts that grungy feel onto them. It's so easy just with some ink like that. And so let's get some ink on this pink paper. This one's really grungy already just because of the yellowed paper and then the way the pattern came through of the colors on that. That's what I like. That's my favorite part, is when I get images. I already said that. I probably said it 3 times in this video. You might know that's what I like, right? By now, you might. Let's put this on here. Okay, so I'm going to glue these down. I'm going to make a pocket out of this. I'm going to use just a little bit of tacky glue here. And I tend to use my tacky glue when this is texture. So the tacky glue will get down in there and grab better than what a glue stick will, in my opinion. Put this on, and I'm putting it on just a little bit above the bottom so that it can be seen throughout all of these layers. Yeah, I think I want to add that cardboard to it. I want to really get that rusty feel in there. I'll put that down right over here. Sometimes you might think, oh, well, you know, this piece really doesn't go with that style, with that painting and that. But you know what? If you think it looks good, it goes. It's a junk journal. It works. That's my way, anyhow, of feeling about it, is that if I like the way that looks, who is anybody to tell me that that shouldn't be put together, because those papers really are more like a retro type design as opposed to a grungy design, and so you really can't add them together. Well, yeah, you can if you want to. Okay, so then we have our flower down. Now, I would take the time and I would coat this flower with probably 3 coats of either matte medium, let's see, some PVA glue, some Mod Podge, something. And I will before I ever use this. Actually, I probably will today before I quit here, because if I just put this aside, then the flower is going to end up breaking off. So this needs to have 3 coats of some sort of sealer on it. Crystal lacquer is real nice too. That takes forever to dry. So there I have it. Now, if I had a page in my journal, let's see, let me get a page. So we can try these out. I have a digital. The white needs cut off if I were to use that as a page in my journal. So I would lay that on here, and then put my pocket on. Now, what do you think? I think that makes a beautiful journal page. Nice little pocket. What if I took it to just a page out of an old floral book? Added it to the bottom of that. Yeah, I would use that also in a journal. Then I have a book page that I have done some stenciling on and some inks on. I'm going to fold that up, and I'm going to take this, I'm going to add this onto here. Now, do I like that? Yes, I like that, but I don't like this color of green with this color of green. So I would have to change my color of this paper. But do I like that idea? Yes, I do like that idea. I forgot that I was going to show you how I could do more with these papers here. And before I show you that, I want to show you that I did make this into a pocket on my page. And I have some items that my friend Kai had sent me a while ago. And I wanted to get those in here. I have a piece of Echo print paper that I put in my pocket. So there we have, from our papers that we did today, a really nice journal page. And I stitched my pocket on, and I've yet to add my 3 layers. I'm waiting until I'm totally done, because once I add it, I'm gonna have to let it sit overnight. So I wanna take these papers here and just show you a couple more things. Now you can make, I wanna add some lines to this, and you can do that with, oh goodness, you can do it with just a plain pencil. You can do it with colored pencil, watercolor pencil. You can do it with distressed crayons. You can do it with whatever actually you want. I just happen to be using my pastel here, my black pastel. And I thought I would just maybe like even go in these squares here and just outline them a little bit. Like that. And that makes them more interesting. I could do the same thing with these rectangles here and here. And of course, everybody knows that, well, if you've been watching me, you know that I like asemic writing. So what if we, you know, we'll take our finger here and we'll just blend out this pastel. But what if we went in here and we did a little writing? I mean, that could be done with a regular pen. That could be done with this pastel pen too. It's just mark making, right? And then we could go in and just blend it out a little bit like that. Now we're getting into more the kind of paper that, again, that I like. I like to have the grungy look to it. And so that's what this is making here. I can just make some circles, random circles. I could take the circles that are here and outline them. And to me, that page looks even better now. Oh, what do we want? We could just make some lines like this. Some dotted lines going in all different directions. And smooth them out a little bit. I like that, guys. That's really grungy looking, right? And then if we just take a piece of it. So let's take, where did I do my squares? Over here. They've kind of, I smeared them out and then they got too light for me. But what if I tore that part right there and then I took that, just that piece right there is very interesting for in a collage, right? And that would be the same with all of these papers. You just rip them up. So go further. Look, here's these squares. Let's add some black pencil to those squares. This is one of my favorite things here when I was painting canvases and making some abstract art. I really liked doing the squares with those silicone brushes and then highlighting them or even painting them. Well, I wouldn't paint them in because I was after what's showing behind there. But look, yep. What do we have going on this one? Just some little squares over here. So just add in some more squares. And that's only showing you one mark making tool, which is the pastel. Take whatever you have in your stash and start making marks, whatever kind of marks you like. There we go. So just wanted to include that, since I did tell you I would show you what more we could do with these papers. And that grunges them up pretty well, I would say. There we go, guys. I hope you have enjoyed my little process video on what to do with some of these papers, how to make some collage papers. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and get busy making some collage papers. And if you have a jelly plate that is in a container and sitting in your closet and you haven't used, maybe February is the month to pull it out and use it before spring gets here and you're going to be outside. So get busy, guys. Have a great day. Bye now.